So Habitat for Humanity is an organisation that provides loans to build housing for families around the world. In Guatemala, Habitat started in the 70s, mainly in response to a devastating earthquake that killed over 200,000 people and razed hundreds and hundreds of homes. Habitat Guatemala is about to build House 50,000 in this country, which means it's actually built about 10% of all Habitat houses internationally. I'm their in-country supervisor. So I'm here kind of as a cultural liaison to interact between the volunteers, the masons, the families, the local affiliate Habitat staff.
El departamento de Jalapa está situado en la región suroriente del país de Guatemala.
So Jalapa is located in the southeast region of Guatemala.
Like when we first got out of the airport, there were a lot of little kids asking for money and a lot of individuals with no limbs asking for money, and there were vans where you put like your luggage right on top of the roof, and it was different, but my expectations, I knew it was going to be different, and when I got initially there, I'm like, this is absolutely different than what I'm used to.
I decided to come on this trip because I really like service and I like traveling, and I've been to Latin America before and I really like that, so it was kind of the perfect trip to come down and help people and travel and explore a new culture.
I'm really passionate about service, and I really enjoy volunteering. I've been a part of Habitat since high school, and had the opportunity to do it internationally was something that I was really excited about.
It seemed like a great experience, and I've never been out of the country before, and this seemed like a great way to get that opportunity.
I've been on a Habitat trip before, and it's a lot of fun. I just like helping people and meeting people, trying new things.
Guatemala just seemed like the ideal location because, as Annie was telling us on the bus, they have so much need.
All the homes that are built in Habitat are built using block. Block's probably the most popular material for families to build with. You know, it's seen as a status symbol to have a block home. We combine block with an internal rebar structure, which makes the house much more seismic resistant, which is obviously important in an area that's prone to earthquakes.
Our jobs were generally to be the supporters of the masons. They were the experts. They were fast. They really knew what they were doing. But so we were tying hooks, tying rebar to set it up.
It's basically you have two thick metal pins, and then you have like these clips that you put on it, and you have to tie them on with wire.
And basically what we had to do is, because it was only the foundation, there wasn't anything underneath, there was just some like rocks or gravel. What we had to do was fill up each room with sand and clay to the top of the bricks.
We work consistently, usually 8 hours a day, give or take a couple hours for the 5 days a week. So you get to really get to know the families and get to know your masons and the builders that you're working with. And it's really cool to see the progress that you're going through and the progression of when the house first starts to when it ends.
And we all just grabbed shovels and wheelbarrows and started digging and dumping. And that's basically what we did. It was a lot of fun though, because everyone really would get into it, and then when someone would take a break, someone else would pick up the slack, and it was fun. I'm excited to go back and see like how fast we can get more stuff done.
There aren't these fancy homes that we're building. There aren't these mansions. And you see that these families are so excited to have a place to call their own. And it's just important for me to realize that you can be happy with less.
A lot of people are living in, I guess, shacks. There's a lot of houses that are just kind of thrown together because people can't afford housing and they can't afford the land to build a house. So Habitat's doing a really good job coming here and helping those people out.
I've seen a lot of shocking things so far. We've had a situation where we actually had to leave the city we were in before we could continue to do work.
We're on our first day of a build in Guatemala, and it seems that at 3 different points surrounding us, we have protests taking place that are blocking the road. Usually the purpose of the protests is just to cause some disruption, to call attention to a local issue that they want the government or the justice system to really pay attention to. Given that we're a very noticeable group of white people, or at least group of foreigners, it makes sense to not have us out and about just in case somebody were to decide to use us or to call the government's attention and make them take action.
We had to wait there for 3 hours, and then we decided that we had to go home somehow because we weren't going to stay in this house with this woman we never met. And so we had to climb up this huge mountain.
We had to go through barbed wire. The car had to be brought to the other side to get us, but we ended up not finding the car. We had to take motorcycles and slowly shuttle each other one by one.
I guess it just kind of goes to show that things don't always go according to plan, and when that happens, you just kind of have to move on and deal with it.
Guatemala is a beautiful country. Even though there's poverty in the country, there's also great beauty and great understanding and love. And that's very evident here. And I think it's important as a cultural exchange for Americans to be able to see that so that we can take that back and say, actually, these are the things that are here in Guatemala and not just what you read in the newspaper.
So far, my favorite experience actually occurred the other day. We went volcano climbing. It was an hour-long ascent to Impala volcano.
Climbing up to this old volcano site, which turned into a lake, and taking a dip.
I love the plantains here. I think that's sort of been my favorite part, having the plantains and the refried beans.
The licuados here are also wonderful. It's just amazing. It's like heaven in your mouth, I'd like to say.
My favorite experience would have to be probably playing with the children, playing soccer. I mean, they're pretty good. They beat our butts, so.
All the people are very friendly and open. I feel like most of them are pretty open to talking to Americans, even though we're not from around here.
I am not a Spanish speaker, but somehow a sense of community and love kind of transcends language. Even though I didn't understand most of the things that they said, I knew that they were very caring, that they wanted us to have a good experience, and that's something that is important to me.
My favorite part has definitely been building and meeting the families and hearing stories and just talking to people that are here all the time and that are helping these people. The Masons are doing this for families.
It's a very beautiful country, and we can do more things to help it become more beautiful and flourish.
I've worked with international teams for over a year, and I can hand on heart say that Lawrence University is one of the strongest teams I've worked with. We had a very chaotic week due to some unrest in one of the areas in which we were working, and the positivity and flexibility and sensitivity that the team showed throughout the whole week was just delightful. I really hope we get another Lawrence team coming to Guatemala.